We wanted to welcome everybody to our training today on the Transmitter Solutions EIS telephone entry systems and also the integration with MyDoorView camera. We're excited to introduce this to you. Some of you have probably heard a little bit about it. We've talked a little bit about it, but now we're officially launching it. We've kind of worked together with MyDoorView to make this a perfect match and something easy for you guys. We've continued to get a lot of requests for camera integration, and so this is the first integration that we will do with cameras, and we will hopefully have more as we go. You'll see what I mean here in just a minute. This won't fit, the MyDoorView won't fit every single application, but we think it will fit a lot of the applications that you guys have. We're also going to dive into the EIS telephone entries and all the different makes and models we have and the feature sets that we have. Just so you know, I went to the Fence Tech Trade Show. We walked around the Fence Tech Trade Show and we saw a lot of different telephone entry / intercom systems. It seems like that's kind of the popular thing right now. You have all your usual ones, the Door King, which are extremely reliable and work really well, and then you have a lot of companies coming out with some new ones. And what we found from that show, and something that we are extremely passionate about, is making sure that we deliver you a good product at a good price and don't continue to add features that may never be used or give too many features that you're having to pay for that you're not interested in. One of our big claim to fame for our telephone entry units is that we do not charge anything for our cloud-based software. We have an app in the iPhone and Android store, and we have true cloud-based software by going to eisware, EISWARE.com, and we don't charge you anything for those. There is no monthly fee. The only fee that is paid is for the SIM card, which you can choose to get from us or to get from your local AT&T or T-Mobile provider. All of our competitors charge a monthly fee for their software, all of them. We don't, and that's one of our big claims to fame is we've kept that monthly fee nothing next to the SIM card, which we do not force you to get from us. So that's one of our big things is not only are the pricing on the units extremely competitive and from what we've seen, some of the lowest on the market, with a very rich feature set that we feel reaches about 90 to 95% of all installations. But we've also made it so we don't charge you any monthly fee, which is extremely nice because we know that kicking that to your customer can sometimes be a little bit hard. So let's go ahead and jump into, I want to first dive into the different makes and models that we have. Everything I'll show you is cellular based. It is SIM card based. The SIM cards that you can use at the moment is T-Mobile and AT&T. If you choose, you can get the T-Mobile SIM card from us preloaded with voice, SMS text messaging, and data. Data is vital in order to be able to connect through our app, which are true apps downloaded on Android or iPhone called eisware, EISWARE, and also to connect to our web-based interface, which is eisware.com. Okay, and I'll show those to you here in just a minute so you can get familiar with those. T-Mobile or AT&T, again, we are continuing to work on improvements for this product, but also taking into mind what can we do to make sure we keep the cost of this unit down. So if you guys have suggestions for improvements that you would like to see, please tell your sales rep. We are always looking for improvements and ways that we can make this a better product and make it more user-friendly for you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into the different makes and models we have. Then I'm going to show you the software and give you a very quick overview of how the software works. I think you'll really like it. It's extremely easy to use. And then we'll jump in and show you how this MyDoorView camera integration goes. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the screen here. Come see us at ISC West. There's a little plug. It's the first banner on our website. We've got some really cool new stuff that we're showing at ISC West. There's been a lot of change around here in the past couple of months, pushing some products more than others. Some of you may have heard we've lost a couple lines, different things like that, but we are always improving and trying to make things better and want to make sure you guys have the best experience you can. So ISC West is going to be a cool show for us where we're going to introduce some really revolutionary stuff that we think you guys will like. So come see us at ISC West in Las Vegas. Again, all of the information that we share with you is found on our website, transmittersolutions.com. We have our manuals, our cut sheets, anything that you'd want to find there. If there's something that is not there that you'd want to find, please let us know, and we'll be able to show that to you. and get that information over to you. So I'm going to come here to our products, scroll down to ICE GSM Solutions. We use GSM probably too much. It's a cellular-based telephone entry, which is what our competitors use, is the terminology. So all of these units have a cell SIM card in them, again, AT&T or T-Mobile. I'm not going to go dive into the different features of every one of these. I'm just going to kind of break down what they do and how they're different. Our goal is to give you a product for almost any application that you could need. So I'm going to first start with the cellular units we have that are not telephone entry. So we have our ICE lock. This is a cellular-based cellular-based keypad. Application for this would be if you have a customer who wants to be able to manage through an app or their cloud-based software who is coming and going, when they're coming and going, and manage their PIN codes. They can do all this through our software, so a ranch would be a perfect application where they can put this at the ranch, put the cellular-based SIM card inside of it, and then they can load our software and share codes, have time restrictions on codes, different things like that. So that's the ICE lock. This is actually a really good product for a pretty specific application, but we sell them and people like them for what they do. The next two that we have that are not intercoms or telephone entries is the ICE CR, which is our ICE card reader. Again, this is the same application as the ICE lock, only this is a card reader. They're able to manage and track who's coming and going with their 5-digit Wiegand serial number and manage all of that through our web-based interface and through the phone apps. And then the remote mobile switch. This is a receiver. The receiver allows you to be able to just, all you do is call the unit and then it will unlock the gate. So if they just want to be able to call the unit and unlock the gate, they can. Also something to note is that on the ICE Entry CR, all it has is a Wiegand input. So if you were just looking for a device where you wanted to be able to monitor and track maybe transmitters rather than cards or fobs, you can put our Wiegand receiver on this ICE Entry CR. You wouldn't have the card reader. You would order it without the card reader. Then you would take our Wiegand receiver and plug it into the Wiegand inputs of the card reader, of this box, which are there, and then you'll be able to manage and track transmitters as well. Then we get into our telephone entry systems. Our base unit is our ICE Entry R. This is just an intercom or just a telephone entry. There is no keypad on it. This one button will call one person and automatically roll up to 4 other people. So if the first person doesn't answer, it will roll to the next. If that person doesn't answer, it will roll to the next and continue on that way until someone answers and lets them into the gate. All of these units, is important to know, are controlled and managed through our web-based software or phone app. So you're able to manage all of them through one application. I'll show you how that works here in a minute. The ICE Entry 1 is one of our more popular units. Another important note is that the ICE Entry 1, the ICE Entry 2, and the ICE Entry 4, these are all paper displays, okay, and the ICE Entry 40. All of these that you see are paper displays, so make sure that you know that. The ICE Entry 1, 2, and 4 all have keypads and then the call buttons. So this one call button will do the same thing. It will call one person rolling up to 4, 2 different people, each one of these rolling up to 4 different people, 4 different people, each one of these rolling up to 4 different people. And then our keypad, which this is something that helps us stand out a little bit too, our keypad is built into our unit and is programmed through our software. This is not a standalone keypad. It is built right in so that you can manage and track PIN codes directly from our units as well. The ICE Entry 40 is for an application where you're going to have maybe less apartments or housing units than you need an LCD unit for, but more than you're going to need a 4 for. And this would be a paper display, and then you would type in the apartment number and press pound to call them directly. All of these units, starting at the ICE Entry 1, have 2 Wiegand inputs, the ICE Entry 1, the ICE Entry 2, the ICE Entry 4, the ICE Entry 40, and the ICE LCD, and I'll show you that. If I click on the ICE Entry 1, we can give you a little layout of the board, and I'll actually have Melissa switch me over to the telephone entry here in just a minute. So you can see here, we'll give you a little board layout, and then I'll show it to you. So the units come with our power supply. You've got your main power input, and then you have your Wiegand interface, what we call Wiegand interface number 2, your data 0, data 1, ground, and then 12-volt DC power here. Up here is where you have your second Wiegand interface, where if you're not using the second Wiegand interface, this is where your keypad is going to be plugged in. If you are going to use the second Wiegand interface, you need to request what's called a Wiegand splitter from us. That Wiegand splitter allows you to be able to plug in the keypad to keep that operational, but also your second Wiegand device, whether it be a UHF reader, Wiegand receiver, Wiegand card reader, or whatever it may be. And then you have 2 relays. Relay 1 normally closed, normally open and common, and relay 2 normally closed, normally open and common. And we don't need to worry about showing you what it actually looks like because it looks just like this picture. And then your SIM card's going to go here, and the board has some LED light indicators that will tell you signal strength and the different things that are happening. So 2 Wiegand inputs and 2 relay outputs that you have built onto every one of our boards starting at the EIS entry 1. The EIS entry R has 1 relay, and then the EIS lock, EIS CR have 1 Wiegand input. So we've got the EIS entry 1, 2, 4, 40, and LCDs that all have 2 Wiegand inputs and 2 relay outputs. The EIS LCD units, the EIS entry 1 and the EIS LCD are our 2 most popular units. The EIS LCD unit can store up to between 200 apartments. So we have the EIS LCD 200 unit, and then we have the EIS LCD 1000 unit. And when you jump up to the LCD display, you can call 2 people per unit. So if I have apartment 100 is myself. If I don't answer, it can roll up to 1 other person. Okay, so in the EIS entry LCD units, you can call 1 main person and roll up to a second per unit, which is either a 200 unit system or a 1000 unit system. Now, any questions on any of the different models that we have? I know I went through that pretty fast, but they're pretty simple to understand. Again, with the EIS 1, the EIS 2, the EIS 4, and the EIS 1, 2, and 4, those will call the person for the button and roll up to 4 different people each. The EIS 40 can have up to 40 units that you dial directly, roll up to 2 per apartment, and the EIS LCD 200 units or 1,000 units, 2 per apartment. So any questions on any of those? Okay, none yet. I can tell you that the price point on these is really good. If you're using competitors or if you've been priced on competitors, I think you'll be really surprised with the pricing that we can offer on these units. It's extremely aggressive. And again, our goal is we personally do not charge any monthly fee or yearly fee for our software or our phone applications. The only fee that's due is to the SIM card provider. Now again, you can get that through us, and we only provide T-Mobile. So you can get T-Mobile through us, which we charge on a yearly basis, and it comes preloaded with everything you need. Or you can do AT&T or T-Mobile and get them on your own. If you do decide to get the SIM card on your own, you need to make sure you have 3 things on that SIM card, and this is probably the most technical support calls we take on these EIS units. It needs to have voice, data. Data allows us to connect with our PC app, or excuse me, our web apps and our phone apps, and SMS text messaging. If you have those 3, these systems will work flawlessly. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the software. Again, the software is, in my mind, this is super easy to use, and so it's easy to be able to turn over to your customer or any of those things. You can see that I have a bunch of units here on my account. It looks like we have a question, so let's go ahead and get that question. The question is, can we use say it one more time, can we use the Wiegand power on the board to run the reader? You can, yes. So on that board, you've got your 12-volt DC and your ground here. You can run a card reader off of it. Be careful because we don't want to overload the power. This is, again, you can see the max is 100 milliamps, which is almost nothing. A card reader takes about 50 and on standby and up to 80 on active. So yeah, you can power certain devices right off of this. Receivers, you're usually, Wiegand receivers and Wiegand card readers are usually, you're fine. Okay, good question. Any other questions on that? Okay. One of the best things about our software is that as the installer, as the end user, you can manage as many of these systems as you want. So this is my account, and you can see I have a bunch of different, these are all different installations, okay, that are using our system. Many of them are just made up for this application. But I can come in here, and if I get the TS training room calling me saying, Quinn, my system's having an issue, I log into my installer account, I come here to TS training room, I find that, I click on it, and now I am in that unit. It automatically goes out and retrieves the information. I don't need to click any button. It automatically does it for me, and what I'm looking at is live what is in the system, okay? So this is all live. I don't need to worry about retrieving information. It's all just current right when I unlock it, okay? Someone was to call me and say, hey, Quinn, I need to look at this system. I can go in and I can Fence Tech. I want to look at my Fence Tech system. I can click on my Fence Tech system, and what it's going to pull up is live. It's saying this because this unit is not real, so there's nothing to pull up, but it would have automatically pulled that up. So let's go back into the TS training room, but you can manage as many units as you want on your web interface, and it will look identical on your app. Your app's going to show all of them as well on Android or iPhone. You can just click on them, and now I'm right in them. Now, up here is where you have your device information. You can export configuration and all the information and import it. So if I had two devices, a front gate and a back gate, that had the exact same setup, which we have plenty of installs like that, I would set up my front gate or my back gate, it doesn't matter, I'd put in all my information. Once it's all in the information, I'd click export, and it's going to save that file for me. And then when I power up and get connected my back gate, all I do is click import, find that file, and it's going to put all that information in here for me, so I don't have to enter it twice, which is really nice for the installation. You have full control of everything. The line open time is how long will our unit stay online before it hangs up. One of the good things about our unit is that if I call somebody and I'm talking to them at the front gate, I can let them in, and our trigger for letting people in is 1-1. That's what triggers relay 1. Then I can trigger it, and it does not automatically hang up. The conversation still continues to go, so you can say, hey, did it open? Did you get in okay? Yeah, I did. And the phone will automatically hang up after this line open time off hook. Now, you can override this by the person at the gate could press the call button again, and it will hang up, or you, as the receiving call, can hang up your line. We also have our mic and speak level, which you can adjust right here from the software. And then the first tab we have, and again, this is an EIS entry, I believe 200. Yeah, this is an EIS entry LCD 200. So we have the intercom tab, but they're all going to have the same tabs and act very similar. I have the intercom tab. Now I can come down here and I can add what I'm seeing on the screen. So what I'm seeing now on the screen, right now live on that screen, I see Quinn Coford in front office, and these are the phone numbers for them. Okay? Now let's go ahead and add Melissa. Okay? And Melissa's number, I'm just going to make up a fake number. She doesn't want people texting her. And then if that number doesn't answer, she wants it to call this number. I want that phone to trigger output 1, but you can choose which relay you want it to trigger. And if Melissa doesn't answer after 25 seconds, then it will start calling this number. I'm going to click the check mark, and now that information's saved, and you see this little box up here populates, which is keeping track of all of the changes that we make so that we can send them down to the device when we're ready. Okay, so it's queued up here. I can go through and change all of these. I can also change the apartment numbers. So Quinn doesn't live in apartment 1. Quinn lives in apartment 102. But you can change those apartment numbers to be whatever you want them to be, and I accidentally clicked the delete instead of the save. Okay, so Quinn's apartment 102. And now you can direct dial that apartment if you know it by clicking the apartment number and pound. So I would walk up to the device and click 102 pound if I know it, rather than scrolling all the way down to Quinn. So you can scroll, or you can hit the apartment number directly through 102. Now, if you have apartment numbers that exceed 3 digits, all we have you do is come down to the keypad mode, click on Extended Apartment Numbers, And now these can be whatever number you want above 3 digits. So I'd be 1,000 now. The reason for that is because we use the pound at the end of our keypad codes as well. And so what would happen is if you typed in a 4-digit code on the keypad, it would assume it's a keypad rather than an apartment number, and it would trigger the gate with a keypad rather than call them. The extended apartment numbers makes it so that you can call the apartment by pressing 1,000 pound, and now the keypad is a star, the 4-digit number, and pound. Okay? So you do have that option. I'm going to change it back to standard. Any questions on the intercom section? Again, the nice thing about this is I can have a unit in California and be here in Utah and make any changes I want and run a log and see all that information. PIN access is where we store all of our keypad codes and all of our Wiegand devices. So what I mean by that is we have, let's say we're not using Wiegand, we're just using standard mode. That means that everything I put in here is going to be a PIN code. So 4444 is going to be a PIN code followed by pound, and I want it to notify me because I'm the administrator, so you will be alerted via text message every time either 1225 or 4444 gets used, okay? You can have up to, you'll see here in table 1, 1,000 and table 2, 1,000. You can have a total of 2,000 keypad codes or Wiegand devices, whether it's cards, fobs, or transmitters, saved. Now, if you are in Wiegand mode, you can separate this to say I'm only using a 1-button transmitter, so everything I save in both tables is going to trigger relay 1. Or if you have a 2-button transmitter and you want button 1 to trigger relay 1 and button 2 to trigger relay 2, all you do is change this to separate. Okay? So this is where you're going to save all your information. Now all we save is, let me get back up here. All we save, so if I'm putting in a transmitter number, is this 5-digit serial number. We don't save the facility code, so you don't need to worry about that. And I'm just going to save that as transmitter. I don't want this one to notify me. And then you'd be notified when that transmitter is used. Okay, so just the 5-digit serial number. Now they can, all of their Wiegand information and PIN codes are all stored here. Caller ID. Caller ID is used for if I want, let's say that I don't have my number in there, but I want to be able to call the gate and trigger it. I can put my information in here, and now I can call the phone number to the SIM card inside the gate, which we tell people just to save in their phone as SIM, and I can call it from anywhere in the world and trigger that gate to open if my number is saved here. An important note is that if your number is in intercom, you are automatically a caller ID. So all of these numbers are automatically a caller ID and can call and open that gate. If you want that feature disabled, it can be disabled by sending a quick text message down, and then these will not automatically be caller ID, and only these units here will work as caller ID. Okay, and again, there's a lot of stuff this can do. I don't want to go too much into it because it can be a bit overwhelming with what it will do. The outputs, you can control both your outputs to be latching or time pulse and set the amount of time for relay 1 and 2. You can change it from normal mode to Wiegand mode. So if you're ever running any Wiegand devices, you want to change in the inputs to Wiegand mode, and then we'll output the Wiegand 26-bit format. Temporary PIN codes is where you can come in and set specific codes to do specific things. So I want the code 5678 to be, we'll do Melissa again. I want it to notify me every time that PIN code gets used. And sorry, my mouse is dying here. And I want it to be a timer limit and only to work on certain days, okay? Or to only work on for an amount of time, okay? So it'll only work from 10 a.m. to, let's just do 1400. Okay, so you can set those specific times to do things. Now, you only have a certain amount of these that you can do. So just keep that in mind, that is this is under temporary PIN codes, and you have 100 of these that you can do. There is a way to make the Wiegand devices and PIN codes in the PIN access section only allowed at certain times, and I'll show you that here in just a minute, but this is where you can make it a little bit quicker, okay? Administration is where you can go in and you can see that I've added myself, and I selected, all I selected is notify PIN. So it's going to notify me at my phone number via text with any PIN codes that have the notification mark checked next to them. Okay, we have a question.
How do I get notification to improvements applied to the software? Can we look for revision number on the website?
Okay, you'll have to explain that a little bit more. Explain that a little bit more. What do you mean a revision number and improvements? Are you meaning firmware upgrades? Let me ask that. Just explain that a little bit more, and then I will get back to that question. Okay, so you can have up to 5 administrators who will be able to receive all this information via text message, whatever they're looking to receive, which is nice. Most people just want to be notified when a certain PIN code is used, so that makes it easy. Timer, we have a 7-day timer for both Relay 1 and Relay 2. You can be set to do the same time every single day, or do a different time every day, or whatever you want, and then you can also do holidays. So let's go ahead and set this. I'm going to enable it. I want it to be a day mode because I want every day to be the same. I want it to trigger Relay 1, and I want it to be master mode. What master mode means is, master mode means that if that gate is held open from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m., that anybody can come up. You cannot close the gate. You cannot override that setting. If you set it to slave mode, the only way you can override the setting in master mode is to come in here and take the timer off or turn the timer off. Slave mode means that gate will open at 10 a.m. and close at whatever time, but if someone comes in and puts their keypad code in or pushes the transmitter, it will close that gate. Master mode will ignore all that. Output precondition means if I put output precondition, that means that all of my transmitters, Wiegand devices, and PIN codes are going to obey the schedules that I've put here and only work during those times. Okay? So let's say you wanted all your transmitters to only work from 10 to 1. You'd do output 1, you'd do output precondition, and you'd say from 10 a.m. to 1, that's when my transmitters are going to work every single day of the week. Okay? Now, what you can also do is you can say, if I do master mode, you can change master mode, and now it's going to be a 7-day timer, which I can change to output 2 if I want. So I want this to trigger output 2. Or you have the option of your second timer, which you can do the same things with. And you can go through and add up to 10 timers per day, 10 different openings and closings per day. Okay? And then you have your event log. The event log allows you to pull the log to see who's been coming and going, who's been triggering the information and all of that. We did have an update to that question. They said yes, for firmware updates they want to know. We are going to be better at letting you know about firmware changes. We will post all of those on our website every time they release now, and you'll have access to update those into your unit. And you can update firmware, you can push firmware changes from anywhere to any of your units. So we will start putting all of those on our website under the download section. Looks like we have another question.
They just want to repeat canceling the timer. Canceling the timer function.
Oh, so if you have the timer set to master mode, which means it's going to not listen to anything else, then all you have to do, if I come here and I say, okay, my timer has been enabled, okay, for the day, time control is output 1, it's master mode, and you need to be able to close that gate because it's in master mode, but something happens. All you have to do is come here to disabled, and then come up to your log change, which will show here, which we have a bunch of stuff, and click send to device. It's going to affect 8 different records, and it's going to send, and you'll see now it's live sending down to the unit. Usually it takes about a minute is all, and then all that information is stored and saved in that unit. You can see in the top right-hand corner we have 2 out of 5 bars, and it's currently in session. 1 of 3 commands have been sent. And then once those commands are sent, again, this will probably take about 45 seconds, excuse me, then all that information is saved. And the next time you log out and log back in, it automatically retrieves all of the current information. Okay? So again, our focus on these units, there are other units that might have a lot more features and functionalities, but we have given you, so it took 42 seconds. We have given you what we feel applies to 90 to 95% of installs. What is being used with telephone entry at 90 to 95% of installs, okay? And we are looking for ways to improve and to help you as the installer, while at the same time, remember, keeping in mind cost effectiveness and what's gonna save you money, okay? So any questions on any of the software? Again, my biggest thing is I get calls from guys who say, hey, Quinn, I'm driving down the road. My customer just called me and they want to add a PIN code and they forgot their login. Can you do it for me real quick? And I can log in and send it from right where I'm sitting at my desk, or the customer can log on with their app and send it. It is just so nice to be able to log on and not have to load any software anywhere. It's all in the cloud. Another question.
Did you say entering a code would cancel it? This is Joe's school practice.
Joe, if the timer is on, if the timer is on until the relay is triggered, if they press in a code, it will trigger the relay off. Okay? But in master mode, it won't cancel it. If it's in master mode, it won't do that. Master mode, they type in a code, they press the transmitter, nothing is going to happen. That gate's going to stay open. If they put it in slave mode and they type in a code, then yes, it would override and close the gate. That's why we give you that feature. Some people want to be able to override from a PIN code the hold open. Most people don't. Most people go master mode, and that means nothing's closing that gate until the time or until they come into the software and close it. Does that answer your question, Joe? Okay. Any questions on the software? Okay, let's jump to the MyDoorView integration. So this is the camera integration. One of the things that I said at the beginning is that this will not apply, this camera integration will not apply to all installs. The reason for that is that the camera, not the telephone entry, our telephone entry is always cellular based. The camera has to be hardwired back to a network. It is an IP-based camera. So you have to run network connection from your camera back to the network. It will work with any Hikvision IP camera, okay? So that's one of the things that some of you guys might be going, oh man, well that won't go to my job because I don't have a network. But we get plenty of requests where they're on big apartment complexes or units where they have a network and they want the camera. Now, with that being said, there are tons of cool features with this and a ton of things that this integration allows us to do that many of our competitors who have cameras cannot do. Let me show that to you. So, when you get the MyDoorView camera integration with the EIS telephone entry unit, you are getting, you need to get a Hikvision IP camera, which you will then run the network cable from the Hikvision back to your network. And then we are setting up for you in our back end your account. In your account, you will then be able to set up all of your customers. So if you have property A, property B, person A, person B, you will come into the screen I'm looking at now and manage your locations. So you are able to, again, through the cloud, see all of the different locations and accounts you have set up. Now, the way this works is I've come in and I created what we call our TS test account. And this is the package that you can see it's paid for, the date purchased, the location code, which is important. And I have put in, if I go under edit, whoop, I've been signed in for too long. I have put in, if I click on test account, the important things here, my camera brand, which in this case is ACTI, the IP address, the camera password, and the camera username. That is all that we need in order to be able to go. And then what happens is you come in here, you have your TS test account, and you create, so if I added another location, I could go through and create all of this location information. And when I create this location information, so let's go ahead and make one up here. Let's say I'm an installing dealer, and I'm going to name this location ABC Apartments. Location telephone number, we'll just make a phone number up. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be the phone number for the telephone entry unit, the ICE unit. What is that SIM card number? Okay, location DTMF, what triggers that phone to open? Which in our case, the ICE unit is 11. The camera brand, we'll choose Hikvision. The camera IP address, I don't have one, so I'll make one up. okay? And then I'd click Add Location. Okay, and then I could specify an image, which I don't want to do. And then what would happen is once I've created that, it's going to populate here. So you'll have all of your sites set up here, and this is the important thing, the location code. Now what happens is the property manager or the homeowner or whatever it is sends out an email or tells their residents, everyone needs to download the MyDoorViewer app, which I'm going to show you on my phone here. Okay, so I'm on camera right here, right, Melissa? Yep. I've got the MyDoorViewer app. You can download it in Android or iOS, and this is what shows up. And when they register for this, it's going to ask them a couple of questions. I am now the apartment dweller or the homeowner or whatever it is. It's going to ask me for my first name, my last name, my location code, which is given by the manager of this system, which is found in that part there, their apartment number, and then their phone number, okay? They're going to press edit, or they're going to press send, and all that information is now sent to the back end, which I'll show you here in just a minute. So the end user app, all they have is a couple of questions that they have to answer. First name, last name, apartment number, their cell phone number, I think email, and that's about it. And then they press send. And then what happens when they send it down is pop over to the screen. When they send it down, now the apartment manager is going to be able to come in here and say, okay, I'm going to manage my iOS users, and these are all of my iOS users, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make them so that I have now all of their information and they are paid for, and now they are in the system. It will give them then a virtual phone number, which you'll see under Android users. Okay, it's going to give them a virtual phone number. So you can see mine. It's got my email. It's got my actual phone number, which is what I input. And then it's going to have my virtual phone number, which this system automatically creates. It automatically creates a virtual phone number. Okay? The virtual phone number is the number that now is saved in our ICE unit. So rather than putting my Melissa's 801 number, we would come back here and we would look up this number here, copy that, and paste that into Melissa's actual phone number into the unit. And that reroutes Melissa's phone to work through the app. It's that simple. So the steps are, you as the installer create a location, which is going to be the property that's adding this system or the home that's adding the system. Once the location is created, you will get a location code, which again is found here under your locations. Okay? You tell them the tenants or residents to download the MyDoorView app. They download that app, they go through the little questionnaire, and they type in the location code, which is given to them. Then once they're there, they will show up under either iOS or Android users with a virtual phone number that is created by the MyDoorView system. That virtual phone number is then put in under the phone number, okay? And then what happens is now, if I come up to the telephone entry, and are we showing me here? And I scroll down, see Melissa, me in front office, to Quinn Coford. Okay, I'm calling Quinn, my phone's in my pocket. My phone's going to start to ring. My phone is ringing now. I answer, and you can see that we have a live camera feed of who is at that gate. This is just a random camera feed. And then I can do end call or unlock. I'm going to click unlock. Click yes. The gate just unlocked. I still have my live camera feed so I can see who's there in live time and end call. So the benefits to this, if you think about it, is that every single person inside this unit has their own way of seeing who is at the gate. They can't pull up a live feed randomly. They can't just be like, I want to look at the front gate. But if anybody ever calls them, scrolls down. So if I was to scroll to Melissa right now and call Melissa on her phone, to pull up and show her who's at her gate, she can talk with them on the phone and let them in or end the call. If I was to scroll to Quinn, I answer my phone, see there who's live, talk to him live, let him in. Okay, so that is extreme. It's just the benefit to it is really nice, especially when an apartment manager or a complex manager can say, look, at our telephone entry, we have the ability to make it so that you can see live who's calling you, not just believe who's talking to you, but actually see who's there. It is really nice, real time, and it gives you a ton of functionality and flexibility. The other cool thing is that it is priced, so this is priced per unit per month, okay? And you can get that pricing from your sales rep. They have all that information. But what makes it nice is that if my name is in here as Quinn Coford, but also in my household is my wife and my 2 kids, okay? I only have to pay the 1 unit fee. It's not based off how many people are in your unit. It's just 1 unit fee. And then what I can set up through the back end is that if I'm called and I call Quinn Coford, it will ring to everyone in my unit's phone. And the first person to answer, all the rest of them automatically hang up. So if someone calls Quinn and I say, I don't want it to call my 2 kids, but I do want it to call me and my wife, as soon as someone calls my name, my phone rings and my wife's phone rings automatically with that camera feed so we can answer and then be let in. It is really, really nice. Also, and again, I'm spitting a lot of information at you, so take what you can and then call us when we're done. Also, we have a PC, the apartment manager can just be logged in on their PC and you can save, that's why I've saved front office here. If I was to call the front office, the live camera feed would pop up on my desktop. So I can just be working away. I call the front office and they've got it set up on their PC. A little window would pop up, say there's a call coming in from your telephone entry, MyDoorView. Do you want to answer? Yes. Populates, live screen, and you can unlock and let them in right from there. So just a lot of really good features that we think help us stand out a little bit. We have a question. What's the question? Yes, this will go on any, that's a great question. The question is, will this retro on any ICE telephone entry unit? Yes, this will go on any ICE telephone entry unit in the field, any of them, okay? Now the other cool thing, and I hope you're all listening, I don't know if we have a way to see if everyone's listening, but if you're looking at another screen right now, minimize that screen and pay attention. We are offering the first 3 months, 90 days, of the MyDoorView integration for completely free with no obligations. If at the end of 3 months you hate it, we just delete it. You don't owe us anything. We don't charge you up front. We don't take your credit card. We probably already have it, but we don't charge your credit card. None of that. We want you to experience this, and we know that the value will come once it's installed on your sites to where they're going, man, this thing's cool. My tenants love it. They can see who's there. The first 3 months are completely free, and there's no, I don't know what they say on TV, no obligation, no hassle, no questions, nothing, none of that. As soon as the 3 months is up, if you hate it, you call your sales rep and say delete it, and all we do is press 1 button and then it's gone. We want to offer this to you because we think it's a really good product. You guys will like it, and we feel that it complements our ICE units a lot. A lot of jobs where people say, hey, we need a camera, this is the answer. So we went through a lot of information there. The base of it is the end user has an app where they can see who's calling them live. The manager can have a PC app or an app for front office where they can see who's calling them live. And it's all managed through you as the installer. We can help you, obviously, and we're offering you 3 months for free. Okay? Any questions on any of that? Mark Barton just walked in, so that makes me think I've done something wrong because he only comes in when times are bad. Oh, things are good, he says. Okay. Any questions? Okay, we're going to stick around. We'll answer any questions you have. Again, my suggestion to you guys, call your guys for pricing. You'll be extremely happy with the price that we've offered. And again, we charge no monthly fees for our ICE units. There is a monthly fee when you get the camera integration, but there is not just for the ICE units. So call us for pricing and keep your eyes peeled because we've got some cool stuff coming out, really cool stuff coming out. We continue to push our safety edges and photo eyes. We're getting really good feedback with those. We've got some specials coming. So thanks for your time. I'll stick around. Please let me know any questions you have. Okay, so the question, I think you heard Melissa, but does the app turn on automatically? The answer is yes. If you have an Android phone, Android allows that as soon as the call comes in, the camera feed will pull up, which is really nice. iPhone is a little bit different. Let me show you how the iPhone one works so you can see it. You have to go through not a couple steps, but I'll show you how this works. So if I call myself, my phone is locked right now. If I call myself, it's going to come through. Okay, it's coming through and it says MyDoorView call. I answer that, and now it makes me click on the MyDoorView app and then unlock my phone. And then once I've done that, now it's live. So iPhone makes you, it's not a MyDoorView thing, iPhone makes you go through a few steps where if your phone's locked, you have to just click on the, icon that pops up. And I said app, it's not the app. Let me show you one more time. It's just a little icon that pops up. I'll show you again. Those are my kids, by the way. There you go. Cuties. So I click it, and then it just says MyDoorView here in the corner. I click on that, and then it's saying you want to access that, but you have to unlock the phone. And now I'm there. Okay, that's iPhone. With an Android, it would automatically just pop up. You don't have to do any of those things. So really good question.